Alright guys, it's time for the final puzzle area of the game.
That small sentence alone has made me infinitely more happier than any other promise that you've made about the quality of any other side quest in this game.
Unfortunately, that still means we have to get through 8 more puzzle areas.
Oh boy. If there's one thing Final Fantasy games are known for, it's their incredible puzzles.
Yeah. Now that I stop and think about it, there haven't been a whole lot of great Final Fantasy puzzles. Even the ones that were interesting have turned out to be kind of annoying in the end.
So why is Mog possessed by the spirit of America?
Because he's a patriotic motherfucker.
Excellent.
He's just feeling particularly stripey today.
Okay, that's fine.
There's at least one very important thing missing from that if it's just a straight-up America thing.
Well, see, he's got blue wings. See, it's totally legit.
I don't know. Could be Great Britain. That flag is entirely red, white and blue as well.
That is true.
Oh well.
Alright, so let's just go ahead and start with this one. This one that just appeared, that is a special one that only appears if you have completed all of the puzzle areas from the previous area.
Qualify special.
It is a 6 or 7 round clock puzzle area, culminating in a 13 node clock puzzle.
I immediately regret asking you to qualify special.
It is the single hardest one in the entire game.
Well, fuck. But first, the actual interesting one?
Well, these are more interesting than the clock puzzles by default, because they are solvable by a human being.
Yeah, there is that. I also just like them a hell of a lot more. What? Did that say farewell or firewall? I didn't quite get that.
It said farewell.
So is it like is it a note saying farewell to somebody called Madeline, or is it like one of those little cakes that like was made to commemorate somebody departing?
I was just thinking of the cake, actually.
It's actually named by Mog, so it could fucking be anything.
I really like Madeline cakes. They're really tasty.
Guys, let's talk about cake for this entire recording.
It certainly would be preferable to trying to directly engage with any of the goddamn content in this fucking video.
I've had like entire like stream conversations about cake. Like just favourite kinds of cake.
Oh, don't leave us hanging.
What my favourite kind of cake?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bring it up, you better be prepared to...
I'll bring... What does your cake bring to the table?
That's a 6 hour.
I like strawberry cheesecake, but that's not a cake, it's a pie. So, like strawberry shortcake, I'm really simple, I like strawberries.
I guess.
I mostly like it because it's a thing that I can make repeatedly and reliably, but I really like this like chocolate lava cake that I make. It's like the thing that's like, it's the liquid in the middle, you bake it and the top crusts over, but the middle is liquid. And you put some ice cream on top and it caves in.
Ooh,
and it's just the best thing.
Yeah, I am also a chocolate cake person, so...
Yeah, but there's chocolate cake and there's chocolate lava cake, man.
I remember when I was telling you, Artix, about my birthday cake and you said it was too much chocolate.
Yeah, I like chocolate a lot, and the cake that you had described was too much chocolate.
Yeah, it kind of was. I should send you my recipe for like triple chocolate cherry cake, though. It's pretty good. It's like chocolate cake with like whole cherries in it and chocolate chips and chocolate fudge frosting on top.
Oh hey, did you see that? We just got a tremulous muffin. I think we might actually have been onto something with that Madeline thing.
Is Mog just like writing like gothic poetry about the cakes that they have eaten?
If we had any kind of sane answer about what Mog was doing, I think we would have been done with this area a very long time ago.
Besides, that would be actually interesting and a little bit cool, so I guess it can't really be the case, can it?
I think I'm beginning to understand a theme with this game.
Anyway, can I point out, like, an actual pertinent fact about the last puzzle that we did? Is that it being an instance of one of the best puzzle type, well, the only puzzle type in the game that doesn't totally fucking suck, and also by coincidence is actually a little bit good, did something almost kind of clever with the teleporting crystals. I had this effect where there were 2 crystals that were each teleporting to 2 places, but the other place that they teleported to made it look like there was only 1 crystal alternating between 2 impossible places. And it makes you actually think about spatially solving a puzzle in a video game, and man, somebody designed that. Game design happened. Game design in Final Fantasy XIII-2, it's true. We saw it, there's video evidence.
Well, you guys did, I was thinking about cake.
Well, I was talking about cake, but thinking about game design.
You and I have far different priorities.
I don't know, I like games and cake. I don't see what's wrong with my priorities.
I don't know, Faye. How do you feel about Connect the Dots? Is that a little more up your alley?
I mean, it's a puzzle that doesn't require spatial awareness or quick reflexes, so it is a puzzle that I can do.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about some of those. I mean, this is not really a very spatially interesting puzzle, but it requires just enough awareness and reflexes to be extremely irritating when you can't do it, but not nearly enough for it to feel in any way rewarding when you can.
Oh, that sounds like a grand old time. I'm gonna buy this game yesterday.
Game design.
See, I've run out of stuff to say now.
I know, a good old reliable chestnut in these is you can talk about how the constellations look absolutely nothing like the things that they're supposed to be. These are cakes! Seriously, these are all just cakes.
You know, what do you want me to say? Mog has a sweet tooth.
My god, is there an actual sympathetic aspect to Mog? I can't believe this is happening.
Hashtag Mog fact. Mog likes cake. I guess. So yeah, I'm actually choosing to believe that Mog is writing, like, Victorian-era Gothic poetry about the cakes that they have eaten and therefore do not exist anymore.
Maybe he's writing the poetry on the cakes in icing.
Yeah. Like, is the next one going to be Ode to a Lost Cream Puff or something?
No, that seems a little too on the nose for this game.
That's true.
All the names of these are just some sort of deeply meaningful adjective crudely prepended onto a type of cake which the writers clearly went and looked up on the Wikipedia article called List of Types of Cake, which is almost certainly an actual thing.
Would you like me to go look? I can go look for a Wikipedia list of types of cake.
The things that Wikipedia has lists of is almost as nuts as the things that TV Tropes has pages for.
I do not believe that for a second. I guarantee you that anything TV Tropes bothers to list out is worse.
No, it's not so much that, it's Wikipedia's ability to have articles titled List
of cakes. It has the name of the cake, a picture of the type of cake, and the origin of the cake. So yes, Wikipedia does have a list of cakes.
Oh yeah, I mean, that in itself isn't actually that ridiculous. I mean, you know, it's an encyclopedia. A list of cakes isn't out of question, but it also has a lot of lists that are completely terrible. Well, not so much terrible, just absurd that there is a Wikipedia page called List of whatever. I'm sure when we're done with this we can look some of them up. I'm
sure. I'll post some of the sillier ones in the thread. I'll I'm saying this in a video so that somebody will remind me to do it, because I will completely forget as soon as we finish. Or I'll just post it before the video goes out, and then I'll just confuse everybody as to why I'm posting, like, links to Wikipedia articles.
Oh, you better spoiler tag them if you do that.
Oh, yeah. Future episode spoilers.
I'm gonna say, we're still 2 weeks out from this video, Faye.
Why did Noel just say cha-ching?
Because he threw Mog at a thing, and Mog got the thing. They have this little canned response for when Mog actually gets something when they throw it.
I'm gonna kind of alarmingly draw a direct comparison between Final Fantasy XIII-2 and Spec Ops: The Line.
Okay.
Oh lord, this ought to be good.
Oh, it was the first instance I can think of the thing that I'm talking about that Final Fantasy XIII-2 does very poorly, that another video game does very well, which is handling tremendous dissonance in incidental dialogue and the current contents of the plot. Because they have all this canned dialogue that can play for certain events, like, you throwing Mog at a thing and opening it. And there is also things that happen in the plot where the characters go through moods, and, the plot goes through moods, and it can be totally fucking jarring for Noel to say cha-ching, given, the state of things where we are. So I thought of, what's the first example I could think of a game that actually put some effort into a generally unremarkable aspect of video games, like incidental dialogue, and it was Spec Ops: The Line.
The incidental dialogue in that game is really, really good, though.
Yeah, because that's a game where stuff happens, the mood changes, the characters change, the outlook on things changes, and with it, the incidental dialogue is always different. The further in you get, they start shouting at people rather than talking to them. They gradually amp up the profanity and the anger and the general hostility towards the people they're commanding their buddies to shoot.
The bit of that like made me sad is that Lugo gets more and more depressed, and he's a sweet precious baby.
But yeah, the point that I'm even making by making that point is that it's kind of like Spec Ops: The Line was the kind of game that showed you that even armed with only the circumstances of a unremarkable cookie cutter template for a game, like military third person shooter or JRPG, that you can still do an absolute shit ton of interesting things just with nifty behind the scenes coding, forethought and effort. There is no reason that a game with exactly the same content as Final Fantasy XIII-2 couldn't have been incredible if it had just had some damn effort put into it.
You know what JRPG does have really cool incidental dialogue that actually changes based on the plot and where you are, probably because it's so granular in how its chapters are done, is The Last Story.
Yeah, the last story is pretty good about that sort of thing.
That's one of those games that's eternally on my list, and eventually I'm just going to give up and watch the LP of it, because it's one of those things that I didn't want to watch the LP of when it started, because I wanted to play it myself, but it's become increasingly apparent that I'm probably never ever ever going to play it myself.
If it's worth anything, it's actually a really short game. It's only 20 hours long.
Oh, that's very short.
Yeah.
But, point taken. But yeah, it's not like these things can't be done well. Also, Jesus fuck.
Yeah, in other news, clock puzzles.
That's a 12-noder.
Yep. Again, it's still not the worst one in this video.
I can't be asked to right now, but you could actually calculate the number of steps needed to algorithmically solve this puzzle. I think if anyone who cares about this stuff has probably read the one article that I posted.
It was the will of the goddess, Kupo.
I see, Mog. It was the will of the goddess.
God, I don't want to talk about plot puzzles. Instead we can talk about Mont Blanc and how that's like almost a clever reference, in that it is both a reference to Final Fantasy, a reference to a Moogle, and a type of cake, and I guess a reference to a real life place, maybe.
It's a pretty good cake too.
I never tried it. I don't know what it is. What's a Mont Blanc?
Let's ask the internet. I'm a great co-commentator. I'll just sit here and Google other stuff.
I know what a Madeleine is, and I know what a millefeuille is, but I don't know what a Mont Blanc is.
Mont Blanc cake is what?
Don't say what.
No, the Wikipedia article gave me like a picture of the Swiss version of Mont Blanc, and it just looks like some noodles with some meringue on top.
That's not much of a cake.
No, it's not a cake. A Mont Blanc, or Mont Blanc au marrons, whatever, is a dessert of pureed sweetened chestnuts topped with whipped cream. The name comes from Mont Blanc as it resembles a snow-capped mountain.
Oh, okay.
I can get behind that.
Chestnuts are pretty tasty.
Well, if I'm ever in a really, really, really upmarket bakery, I'll give it a look.
We learned facts about cake today. See, Mog is helping.
It sure as hell has been the most rewarding thing about this entire experience. Not that that's a particularly high bar to clear, but, you know. I guess if nothing else, it's very extremely remarkable that we managed to get something so worthwhile out of this shit heap.
Beloved cinnamon.
Oh, come on, that's not a cake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not even a cake. Come on, Mog.
Yeah, like, you know, like a cinnamon roll, cinnamon cake. Then again, it's cinnamon roll isn't even on the same, like, conceptual level of cake as stuff like, you know, a Mont Blanc and a millefeuille.
And, like, madeleines and...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a cake, it's a pastry.
Sometimes the... Yeah, I guess you can define the barrier between cake and pastry, although sometimes that line is towed. But it's definitely a line.
So I was trying to explain, like, this is something that a lot of English people have to explain. I was trying to explain to a friend the difference between, in England, a cookie and a biscuit. And it's a very hard thing to explain.
Yeah!
Like, a cookie is a cookie, and a biscuit is anything else.
Yeah, I know. But,
like, how do you define a cookie?
I've never thought about that before, and it's breaking my mind. I'm supposed to be really good at words and everything. That was like my whole thing on the forums for a while.
How do you explain the difference between a cookie and a biscuit?
Come on, you guys. Mog?
Well, Fiddle, maybe we should stop thinking about that and start thinking about the ocean of time.
What?
Well, that's where Mog's from. The ocean of time.
I see.
So back to cake.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, this is the one. This has the clock puzzle.
Ugh.
The biggest, baddest fuck you of them all.
I guess you could say it really takes the cake.
Get out.
Well, okay, fine. I guess it takes the biscuit.
No, somebody, like, I don't have the authority to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Somebody in the thread, try and explain the difference between a cookie and a biscuit. Like, the way English people mean those words.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to that in about 2 weeks.
Yep, when I will have completely forgotten about it.
Well, then it'll be a pleasant reminder.
Yeah. I'm sure Fajul is trying. In his head.
Words aren't working right now.
There is only bad puzzles.
It's not so much that as I'm looking for words and I'm not finding them.
It's a really hard thing to describe.
This is still a 12.
This is a timed 12.
Oh, fuck my life. I didn't see the timer through the blur. Why? Why is there a timed 12? Why? Why would you do that?
Here she is. Marvel at it. That is a 13-node clock puzzle.
One of those nodes is a 9.
That's a 6, actually.
Okay, well, no, it's a very tiny bit less horrifying. Yeah. Calculate the fucking runtime complexity of that. Well, I guess we already know what the runtime complexity is, because we know it's NP hard, which means it has to be greater than polynomial, and pretty much the only thing... Yeah. Definitively greater than polynomial is exponential, and that's really fucking bad.
When Mog was still a young Moogle, he was playing hide and seek with his friends.
I did not know that Mog is a boy.
Swallowed by a paradox.
So, at the risk of doing that thing that I'm kind of prone to doing in this series, where I make the same point again, only for emphasis that it keeps coming up, why is Sarah narrating something that Mog has narrated to her, to us, again?
In case you forgot.
Well, it's not that she's narrating the thing again, it's that she's narrating a thing again. She narrates a lot of things.
Mog, we're here. You can go home now, and then you can just go away. We never have to see you again.
Mog died on the way back to his home planet.
I noticed that there's some writing on the back of Noel's jacket, and now I desperately want to know what it says.
Probably something fucking Latin.
Mog, do you want to continue on this journey with us? Or do you
Probably the lyrics to One Winged Angel.
Family are waiting. Mog, the decision is yours.
No, the design on his back clearly has 2 wings.
You know, I never said Nomura's fashion sense made any sense.
What do you mean belts everywhere isn't fashion?
I bet you anything Tetsuya Nomura owns several shirts covered entirely in indecipherable Latin.
Also, god damn it, Mog!
Get another chance.
No,
Are you sure?
We went through all that to take you home, and you were like, nope, we're not doing it.
and on top of that, they couldn't even be asked to actually show us this place that we discovered and almost went to, and only saw through a procedurally generated generic game puzzle area. After all that shit, you don't even get to see the place, you just get Sarah telling us second hand something that Mog told us. And then we get a thing about how, oh, we saw the place. But we didn't actually see the fucking place because fucking Final Fantasy XIII-2. Fuck.
Pink parfait.
That's not a dumb word to describe a parfait with at all. I mean, that's actually kind of remarkably restrained, given the other places that these other cakes have gone.
Anyway, there is one last thing we need to do here.
Is it throw Mog into the ocean?
That would be preferable, but unfortunately no. We are just here to get this Graviton core, even though we don't need it anymore.
It's a fragment.
So that's it! Next time, Academia 500 and the end of the game.